Hey everyone, you know how sometimes you stumble upon a book that just clicks, that actually changes the way you think about something you deal with every single day? Well, for me, that book is Neil Fiore's The Now Habit at Work Perform Optimally, Maintain Focus, and ignite motivation in yourself and others. I picked it up because let's be honest, who isn't trying to figure out how to work better without completely burning out? And this book, wow, it really delivers. It's not your typical dry business manual. It's like having a really insightful friend tell you how to stop struggling and actually enjoy what you do. And that's why I just had to tell you about it. So what's the big idea here? Fury tackles this fascinating concept that working harder, stressing more, and putting in longer hours aren't actually the secret to success. Think about that for a second. We're all told to hustle, right? But he argues that truly effective people, whether they're managers or entrepreneurs, simply tap into more of their brain power to make creative decisions and work in what he calls the zone. It's about working smarter, not just pushing harder, and finding a way to make work less of a chore and more of a creative challenge. He even mentions that our brains actually love to problem solve, like solving a crossword puzzle or playing chess. So why can't work be like that too? One of the first things that really hit me was the idea that struggling is often a sign you're going in the wrong direction. He tells this great story about handing out finger puzzles in a seminar, those braided straw tubes. The more you pull, the tighter they get. His advice: stop struggling and push your fingers into the tube to get free. It's such a simple analogy, but it perfectly illustrates his law of reverse effort. So often when we're stuck, our instinct is to just try harder, but the book suggests that often we need to do the opposite of what's not working. It's like, instead of asking why did I spill the milk, you immediately ask, how do we clean it up? It's all about shifting to corrective action rather than dwelling on what went wrong. This brings us to one of his core principles, shifting from I have to finish to I choose to start. I mean, how many times do we tell ourselves, I have to get this done? That instantly creates resistance and makes you feel like a victim. The book says this self-talk makes you feel fatigued, distracted, and prone to procrastination. Instead, Vera suggests we choose to start for just 15 minutes. Even if it's a huge, overwhelming project. Why 15 minutes? It's enough to break through inertia and give you a procrastination inoculation shot. It gets your brain into problem-solving mode and turns that future anxiety into present productivity. He even did this himself with his doctoral dissertation, working just 15 hours a week for a year by committing to starting for 30 minutes before breakfast. It's about telling your mind and body when, where, and on what to start, not just demanding a finish. And why about those endless to-do lists? The book really made me rethink them. It points out that to-do lists are often to-do lists that provoke resistance. They're overwhelming, and they don't differentiate between high and low priorities. Instead, Fiore suggests alternative lists, like a personal life list, loved ones, health, no need for a written list, just commitment, a top priority projects list, one has 3 major tasks you start every day, a low priority tasks list for when you need a break or can delegate. And my favorite, a free time procrastination list for guilt-free play activities you can put off until later. The idea is to schedule your commitments, like sleep, meals, and leisure, so you're not procrastinating on living. That really resonated with me, making play a scheduled commitment, not just something you hope to squeeze in after everything else is done. So how do you handle those big, overwhelming projects? The book explains that when you see tasks in only a 2-dimensional plane, focusing only on the deadline, you get overwhelmed. Instead, it teaches you to use deadlines to create a 3- and 4-dimensional path back to when you start. Think of it like planning a trip to the airport. You don't just think about the departure time, you back time to figure out when you need to leave, factoring in security, finding your gate, etc. For a project, you map out the next weeks or months, noting holidays and other commitments, so you see the actual available time. This helps you focus on when to start on manageable segments, rather than trying to jump to the finish line all at once. It's about breaking through that overwhelmed feeling and transforming that stuck energy into productive excitement. And speaking of feeling stuck, have you ever wondered what truly motivates us? The book highlights 3 great motivators: pain, expectancy, and ownership. It suggests using the motivating power of future pain, like Dickens' Ghost of Christmas Future, to get unstuck. Imagining yourself 5 years from now with nothing changed can be a powerful catalyst for action, but also the power of positive expectancy is huge, like a Paris look of expectancy when a child takes their first steps, or Joe, the insurance salesman, telling his team someone in the building would buy a $5 million policy, igniting a surge of sales. It's about setting an expectation that something good will happen, which alerts your mind to opportunities. And finally, ownership. When you own something, whether it's a car, a home, or a project, you put your heart and soul into it. The book encourages you to act as if you own your job or your projects, which naturally ignites motivation. Why, if you find yourself always procrastinating, the book makes it clear that procrastinators often pressure themselves with negative self-talk, feeling afraid of failure, like a victim, overwhelmed, or needing to be perfect. The solutions offered are fascinating. Shift to task focus instead of worrying about criticism. Create a safe environment where employees or yourself can focus on the job, not fear judgment. Offer choice over compliance. When you give people choices, it stimulates creativity and motivation. No more "you have to" messages. Focus on starting, not finishing. This helps overcome the overwhelm of a big task. Asking "when can you start" on a rough draft is much more effective than "you have to finish this project." Encourage self-acceptance over perfectionism. Trying to be perfect is a huge waste of time and delays projects. Getting early feedback, even in a rough draft, is key to saving time and reducing perfectionist tendencies. The book also delves into managing difficult employees, reminding us that often their challenges stem from hidden insecurities or past difficulties. It emphasizes respect, positive incentives, and acknowledging their worth. It's about giving recognition for positive actions, even small steps, because often negative behaviors get the most attention. And a huge point for managers: treat your employees like customers. Companies that prioritize employee satisfaction through training, support, and giving them control over their work see benefits like lower product defects, accidents, sick days, and turnover. And of course, happier customers. Ultimately, this book is about empowering you to take charge of your time and your life. It helps you realize that you're not stuck with old habits or default reactions. Your human brain can choose how to act, rather than just react. It encourages you to use your awareness of negative habits as a trigger to shift to corrective actions. This means deliberately choosing a new, more effective alternative, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. It's about building resilience to setbacks, knowing they're inevitable, and having a plan to recover quickly without falling into self-criticism or giving up. You mentally rehearse how to deal with your worst fears, turning worry into a plan for survival. So what's my biggest takeaway? It's that true success and peace come from shifting your internal dialogue and taking ownership of your choices. It's about letting go of the struggle, tapping into your innate potential, and designing a life where work feels less like a burden and more like a creative, exciting challenge. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, stuck in procrastination, or just like you're constantly fighting against yourself, this book offers incredibly practical neuroscience-backed strategies to finally work smarter, reduce stress, and genuinely enjoy your journey. I highly recommend picking it up. It truly has the potential to transform your relationship with your work and, honestly, your entire life. Go on, take that first step and see what amazing changes you can start today.